Okay, I'm looking at 2.5.3, and we want to know all the elements of the sixth root of 1 with all their orders. So what I did first is just find the magnitude. Just did the standard method that I did on page, hopefully I can find it, on page 20. So first find the angle. So the angle of 1, what's inside of this thing, that's going to be 360. Then find the x value. We talked about that before. So that's going to be cosine theta over n plus I sine theta over n. So x is going to be cosine theta over n plus I sine theta over n. And that's also on page 20. And then we find I just call it S. Just call it S. It's the simpler way to go. So S is going to be 360 over n plus I sine 360 over n2. So in this case, S and X are the same thing. Usually they're not, but in this case they are. So that kind of makes things a little simpler. But then also we're looking at the magnitude, which is 1, so that makes things simpler too. Now, we look at all these and we find out we get 60 degrees, and then using, again, page 20, we're going to add 60 degrees to the next one by squaring it. And so then we get 120, 180, 240, 360, 360, 300, 360. Anyway, so this is all basically built on the 30, 60, 90 triangle, and it's pretty straightforward. So I'll just kind of run through this kind of slow in case you need to pause it. And so then we get all the elements. They're all right here. And so then we just find their orders. So the order is going to be the least natural number that you square the element in order to get to 1. So it's got to be the smallest one. And that's on page, let's see if I can find it. That's on page, it talks about it on page 36 at the bottom. It talks about order. So then here are the elements. And there we go. So the order of this is going to be 6, because that's the least power that we can get. So again, 1/2 plus I root 3 over 2, the least number that you can get, other than 0, not 0. It's got to be a natural number, not a whole number. So the least one is 6. If you were to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it wouldn't work. But when you get to 6, it'll work. I think 12 will work too, but that's not the least one. So you go through all these, and you find the least ones. And then we end up with all this. I checked the back of the book, and it seems to be correct. There you go.